A prominent landowning family in West Bengal is decimated. A young boy is dead, and the family's thriving business collapses overnight. This entire trail of destruction traces back to the exact placement of a single brick wall. In 1995, a man named Deep decides to separate from his extended family in Mednipur. He wants total independence, requiring him to leave the densely packed village life behind. He selects a plot far out in an empty, isolated paddy field and lays the foundation for a square, two-story house. To supply the new household with fresh water, he excavates a brand new pond just to the northeast of the building. It seems like a perfectly standard architectural choice. Yet this specific layout, dropped into an isolated environment, places his new property in direct conflict with an ancient geography. Before the structural work begins, a local priest arrives for the traditional groundbreaking ceremony. He walks the perimeter of the plot, stops, and immediately halts the construction. Looking at this blueprint, the priest points directly to the western boundary. He warns Deep that this specific edge blocks an active passage for something unseen, and insists the entire footprint of the house must be shifted east. Deep is a staunch skeptic, dismissing the warning as an attempt to extort money for extra rituals. Deep flatly rejects the warning. He turns to his laborers and orders them to pour the concrete and stack the brick exactly according to his original blueprint. Deep dismissed the priest's warning as a fiction. He ordered the laborers to begin the masonry exactly where the priest told him something unseen was already moving. The consequences begin immediately, and they are purely mechanical. The laborers finish building the western wall, only to find it completely crumble to the ground the next morning. Deep refuses to accept a delay. He orders the crew to rebuild it. The following dawn, a massive vertical crack splits the fresh masonry right down the middle. He physically fights the environment. Deep eventually uses heavy barricades to brace the wall, forcing the bricks and mortar to hold their shape against whatever pressure is breaking them. He wins the structural battle, but the result is a solid brick wall dropped straight across a supernatural transit route. Once the family moves in, the resulting disturbances are bizarrely compartmentalized. The entity completely ignores the bedrooms and the kitchen. Every strange event is confined tightly to that disputed western corridor. The air directly next to the west window drops to freezing, while the rest of the house stays warm. Bundles of harvested crops leaned against that specific wall spontaneously combust, turning to ash at the slightest touch. Deep keeps watch at night and eventually sees the apparition of an old woman. She wears a drenched sari and radiates the distinct, overpowering smell of raw fish. She follows a rigid, unvarying schedule. She makes no attempt to scare the family, ignoring Deep entirely as she marches purposefully past the window and toward the gate, every single night. These are the actions of a creature stuck on a disrupted daily commute. When tearing down the masonry and dropping the temperature fails to clear the path, the unseen force redirects its pressure toward Deep's bloodline, starting with his youngest son. The boy goes to bathe in the new pond, and his mother watches him walk back into the house. Minutes later, he vanishes. His room has a dirt floor, but it remains perfectly dry and dusty, showing zero wet footprints. Hours later, they find his dead body back on the bank of the pond. During the mourning period, Deep's daughter violently contorts her body and overpowers the men in the house. She crawls into a storage room to chew on raw fish meant for a religious offering, and by morning, she disappears. A shepherd finds her unconscious miles away, lying in the local cremation ground. The fatal accidents and possessions functioned as an escalating, violent eviction notice issued by the local geography. Desperate, the family consults a local seer, known as a Dorada. She identifies the haunting entity as a joki, a highly territorial water spirit bound entirely by strict, ancient routines. This map shows the actual spatial conflict. By excavating the pond, Deep activated the joki's daily travel route, running directly to the distant cremation ground. His home dropped squarely onto that path, turning an ancient transit line into a dead end. The wet footsteps, the smell of fish, and the daughter's route to the cremation ground trace back to this single obstruction. Each event follows the exact trajectory of the joki's now obstructed path. The haunting functioned as a violent, mechanical reaction to a blocked route, rather than a sequence of random provocations. The seer extracts rooster blood into an earthen pot, submerging 4 heavy iron nails inside. Burying these blood-soaked nails at the four corners of the house creates a binding perimeter. It forces the jockey to permanently alter its ancient route and detour around the house. The phenomena stop immediately. Deep begins the long process of piecing his family back together, permanently cured of his skepticism. Human hubris cannot bulldoze over ancient, invisible boundaries because the geography of the unseen demands exactly as much respect as the physical earth.